What's a black guy like you doing in this neighborhood? Isaac Davis looks up from the park bench, calm. Jogging, officer. Same as every morning. Donnelly's lip curls. Yeah? Where's your ID and that watch? Tag Hooer, right? What did you do? Rob someone? I bought it. Sure you did. Donnelly's voice drips contempt. People like you can't afford that. Stand up. Hands behind your back. 3 white joggers stop, phones out, recording, smirking. A woman whispers to her friend. A teenager goes live. Yo, cops arresting some dude in the park. Nobody intervenes. Nobody asks questions. Isaac rises slowly, turns, offers his wrists. The handcuffs click. Donnelly leans close. Should have stayed in your part of town. Isaac meets his eyes. Badge 2836. What Officer Donnelly doesn't know, this black man controls every federal cop in America. Ever been so wrong about someone it ruined your life? Smash like if you've ever misjudged someone badly, but nothing like this. And Donnelly just made the worst mistake of his life. 6:15 a.m. Washington, D.C. Isaac Davis stands in his apartment, adjusting his tie. The walls tell a story. Photos with the president, the attorney general, commendations framed in dark wood. A certificate reads, Isaac J. Davis, J.D., Yale Law. Director, Civil Rights Division, U.S. Department of Justice. His wife, Rachel, leans against the doorframe. Riverside again? That's 40 minutes away. I grew up there. Isaac picks up his briefcase. Files stamped top secret peek out. Reminds me why I do this job. She kisses his cheek. Be careful. Isaac's job, overseeing every federal prosecution of police misconduct in America. 340 attorneys report to him. 89 FBI investigators follow his directives. When cops violate civil rights, Isaac's division brings the hammer. 6:52 a.m. Riverside Municipal Park. Isaac finishes his 5-mile run, sits on the familiar bench overlooking the pond. He pulls out his government tablet. The screen glows. DOJ case file, number 2B24 CR 4389. Excessive force investigation. Phoenix PD. A young black boy kicks a soccer ball nearby. It rolls to Isaac's feet. He tosses it back, grinning. Nice kick, buddy. The boy's white mother approaches. Oh, hi, Mr. Davis. Thanks for being so sweet to Tommy. Isaac waves. Anytime. From the patrol car idling 30 yards away, Officer Jake Donnelly watches. He sees a black man in expensive running gear talking to a white kid. His hand drifts to the radio. Dispatch, this is Unit 12. I've got a possible 1066 at Riverside Park. Description? Donnelly pauses. Black male, 40s, loitering. Doesn't fit the neighborhood. What Donnelly doesn't know. Isaac built the federal database Donnelly's department reports to. Every stop, every arrest, every use of force report flows through systems Isaac designed. Donnelly exits the car, hand on his belt. Isaac watches him approach in his peripheral vision, but doesn't move. His tablet still shows the Phoenix case. Another cop. Another pattern. Another reckoning coming. Morning, Donnelly says, voice flat. Need to see some ID? Isaac looks up. His expression reveals nothing. Not surprise, not fear, not anger. Just calm assessment. He's been here before. At 19 in the Bronx, at 23 in Chicago. Different cities, same script. Is there a problem, officer? Donnelly's jaw tightens. No problem if you cooperate. ID, now. Isaac reaches for his wallet slowly, deliberately. Inside, his driver's license, 3 credit cards, and tucked in a hidden flap, his federal credentials. He pulls out only the license. The choice is intentional. Because Isaac needs Donnelly to go all the way. Donnelly examines the license. The address catches his eye. Upscale neighborhood 6 miles away. His suspicion hardens into certainty. Long way from home. What brings you to this park? Isaac's voice stays even. I jog here every morning. Public park. Am I breaking a law? You're breaking my law by not showing respect. The shift happens fast. Donnelly spots the government tablet on the bench. What's that? Isaac closes it calmly. The screen goes black, but not before Donnelly glimpses U.S. Department of Justice, classified. Federal property, Isaac says. Without a warrant, you can't search it. Donnelly's face flushes. You a lawyer or something? Or something. Wrong answer. Donnelly hears challenge in those two words. His hand moves to his radio. I need backup at Riverside Park. Uncooperative subject. By now, 6 people have stopped jogging. 3 white, 2 black, 1 Hispanic, all watching. A 60-year-old white woman in yoga pants steps forward. Officer, I see this man here every day. He's not bothering anyone. Donnelly whips toward her. Ma'am, step back. This is police business. A young black jogger pulls out his phone, hits record. Donnelly notices. Put that phone away or you're next. Isaac speaks, quiet but clear. No. Keep recording. That's your right. Donnelly's backup arrives. Officer Brandon Hayes, 26, 2 years on the job. He climbs out of his cruiser, confused. The scene doesn't match the radio call. No threat, no disturbance. Just a man sitting on a bench. Hayes approaches. Jake, what's going on? Subject's being uncooperative. Suspicious activity. Hayes glances at Isaac, sitting calmly, hands visible, zero aggression. He looks back at Donnelly. Something's wrong here. Donnelly ignores him. Stand up. Hands behind your back. Isaac rises slowly. 6'1", fit, composed. He turns without being told, offers his wrists. The crowd presses closer, phones raised. Before the cuffs go on, Isaac asks one question. Officer Donnelly. He reads the name tag carefully. I'm going to ask you directly. Is this because I'm black? Donnelly's voice goes loud, defensive. This is because you're suspicious. Don't play that card with me. Isaac's eyes don't blink. So you do see the card I'm holding. The handcuffs click shut, and 90 seconds ago, hidden in Isaac's watch, a federal emergency protocol activated. At DOJ headquarters in Washington, an alert is already flashing on senior analyst Sarah Mitchell's screen. Every second of this arrest is streaming to Isaac's own department. The crowd swells to 15, 8 phones recording. 1 Facebook Live with viewers climbing past 2,000. Donnelly empties Isaac's pockets onto the hood of the patrol car. Mercedes keys clatter down. A leather wallet, Mont Blanc, $300. Cash, $340, crisp 20s. Business cards slip out. Donnelly reads one aloud, voice mocking. Isaac J. Davis, consultant. He looks at the crowd, smirking. Consultant. That's what they all say, right? A white teenager films, grinning. Dude's getting wrecked. Hayes stands back, arms crossed, face tight. This isn't right. No probable cause, no reasonable suspicion, just a man on a bench. He pulls out his phone, texts his supervisor. Need to talk. Got concerns about this stop. No response. Donnelly picks up the Tag Heuer watch, turns it in the light. Where'd you steal this from? Isaac's voice stays ice cold. I didn't. But your body cam just recorded a baseless theft accusation. Thank you. Donnelly's grin falters for half a second, then returns, meaner. On your knees. That's not standard procedure for a non-violent... Donnelly's hand drops to his taser. I said knees! Now! Isaac kneels. The grass is wet from sprinklers, soaking through his running pants. $80 pants, stained with mud and humiliation. A little black girl walking with her father stops on the path, 20 feet away. She's maybe 6 years old. She starts crying. She starts, "Daddy, why is the policeman hurting that man?" The father, black, mid-40s, wearing a suit, pulls out his phone, doesn't say a word, just opens Facebook, hits Go Live, and points the camera. "This is what our kids have to see," he says quietly into the phone. "This is what we teach them to expect." Within 60 seconds, 400 people are watching live. Isaac looks at the little girl. His lips move, just barely. "I'm okay." Then quieter. Watch what happens next. The girl's father hears it. He doesn't understand, but he keeps filming. Donnelly grabs the government tablet again. "I'm confiscating this as evidence." Isaac speaks slowly, deliberately. "That device is encrypted with federal security protocols. Tampering with it is a felony under 18 U.S. Code Section 1030. You are being recorded stating your intent to unlawfully access classified material." Donnelly laughs. "Big words don't scare me." Isaac looks directly into the nearest body cam. "They should." But you won't understand why until it's too late." Hayes steps forward. "Jake, seriously, what are we charging him with?" "I'll figure it out at the station." "That's not—" "Back off, Hayes." Hayes backs off, but his hand shakes slightly as he opens his personal notebook, starts writing. Time stamps, direct quotes, his own insurance policy. An elderly white woman in the crowd shouts, "I'm a retired attorney. You're violating this man's civil rights." Donnelly rounds on her. "Ma'am, unless you want to join him, I suggest you move along." She doesn't move. She films. They load Isaac into the patrol car. Hayes drives. Donnelly sits passenger, jaw clenched, adrenaline fading into something that feels uncomfortably like doubt. "Bet you regret not being respectful now," Donnelly mutters. Isaac stares straight ahead. "I regret nothing. You will." In Washington, Sarah Mitchell is already calling the Deputy Attorney General, DOJ Operations Center, Washington, D.C. At 7:19 a.m., Sarah Mitchell's coffee goes cold as she stares at her screen. Emergency alert. Protocol Sigma activated. Subject, Director Isaac Davis. Status, civil rights violation in progress. Location, Riverside, MD. Badge, 2836. Her hands freeze over the keyboard. She reads it again, then a third time. "Oh my God." She pulls up Isaac's file. The clearance level makes her stomach drop. Position, Director, Civil Rights Division. Authority, oversees all federal prosecution of police civil rights violations. Direct reports, 340 attorneys, 89 FBI investigators. Clearance, top secret SCI. She grabs the phone. Direct line to Deputy Attorney General Thomas Wilson. "Sir, we have a Sigma alert." Wilson's voice sharpens. "Who?" "Isaac Davis." Silence. Then, "Our Isaac?" "Yes, sir. He's been arrested. Riverside PD. Badge number 2836. We have live audio feed." "Do not intervene. Isaac knows exactly what he's doing. Record everything. I'm calling the AG." Sarah hangs up, pulls on her headset, starts the recording. Isaac's voice comes through, calm and clear even through the static. "Badge 22836. I'll remember that." She types faster. "Incident report. Evidence log. Chain of custody for the audio. Her job for the next 4 hours. Document everything so thoroughly that no defense attorney in America can find a crack." Patrol car. 7:43. The radio crackles. Dispatch's voice sounds strained, careful. "Unit 12, confirm identity of subject in custody." Donnelly keys the mic. "Black male, 40s, no wants or warrants. Bringing him in for processing." A pause, longer than normal. 10-4, please. Proceed carefully. Donnelly frowns. Carefully? Guy was sitting on a bench. Hayes says nothing. He's been silent since they left the park, but his knuckles are white on the steering wheel. 14 witnesses, 8 phone cameras, 1 Facebook Live with 6,000 viewers now. Body cam footage showing Donnelly saying, "People like you," twice, forcing him to kneel without cause, textbook excessive force. Confiscating federal property, potential felony. Isaac's Yale law professor used to say, "The best cases are built on the defendant's own words." Donnelly just wrote the prosecution's opening statement, but Isaac's thinking beyond Donnelly now. He's thinking about Jamal Henderson, 16, autistic, tased in a parking lot for stimming. Rosa Martinez, 34, pulled over and searched in front of her crying kids because her insulin looked suspicious. Darius Grant, 52, arrested outside his own business because a cop didn't believe a black man could own a store in that neighborhood. All by Riverside PD, all buried by the department, all about to see daylight. Riverside Police Station, 7:43 a.m. Desk Sergeant Stephen Kowalski, 58, 23 years on the job, looks up as they bring Isaac in. Something in the man's posture makes Kowalski pause. Too calm, too measured. "What's the charge, Jake?" "Disorderly conduct, resisting, suspicious activity." Kowalski looks at Isaac, sitting quietly, hands cuffed, not a scratch on him, then back at Donnelly. "You verify his ID fully?" "Driver's license. That's enough." Kowalski's jaw works. "Any other identification on him?" Donnelly pulls out the wallet, flips through it quickly, misses the hidden flap entirely. "Nope." "All right." Kowalski's voice is careful. "Process him." The fingerprint tech runs Isaac's prints. The computer beeps. "Match found. Fingerprint access restricted. Contact FBI immediately." The tech goes pale. Sarge?" "What?" "We got a flag. Federal database. Says contact FBI." Donnelly overhears, smirks. "Probably got warrants. Told you." But Kowalski's face has gone gray. He's been doing this long enough to know what a restricted flag means. This isn't a warrant. This is something much, much worse. And at DOJ, the Attorney General just authorized a full investigation. 2:00 p.m. Same day. The district attorney reviews Donnelly's report, watches the body cam footage, reads the charging document, then picks up the phone. "Chief Williams, we have a problem." Chief Richard Williams leans back in his chair. "Donnelly's arrest?" "There's no case here. The video shows a man sitting on a bench. Report says resisting arrest. I'm not signing off on this." "What about the supplemental report?" "Donnelly said..." "I don't care what Donnelly said. Release him, now, before this becomes a federal lawsuit." Williams hangs up, rubs his temples. 26 years as chief. Never seen a simple park arrest blow up like this. 2:15 p.m. Kowalski handles the release personally. Slides Isaac's belongings across the counter. Wallet, watch, tablet, keys. "Sir, I apologize. This shouldn't have happened." Isaac pockets his items without speaking, then looks up. Then, "What's your name, Sergeant?" "Kowalski." "How long have you been here?" 23 years. Isaac's eyes don't blink. "Then you've seen this before. Officers like Donnelly." Kowalski's mouth opens, closes. "Yes. And you stayed silent." "I have a family. A pension." Isaac cuts him off. "So do the people Donnelly victimizes. Remember that when the investigators come." Kowalski's face drains of color. "Investigators?" Isaac walks out without answering. 6:00 p.m. Donnelly's home. Donnelly sits at his kitchen table, writing a supplemental report. His hands move fast, justifying, clarifying, covering. Subject made furtive movements toward waistband, appeared agitated and aggressive, refused lawful commands. His wife Jennifer glances at him from the couch, scrolling her phone. Local news, Facebook. The video is everywhere. "Long day?" she asks. Entitled guy at the park. Thought rules didn't apply to him. Jennifer's thumb stops scrolling. She sees the video, her husband's face, the handcuffs, the black man kneeling. Her expression changes. "Jake, what?" She turns the phone toward him. "This you?" Donnelly glances at the screen, shrugs. "Yeah. So?" Jennifer doesn't answer. She stands, walks to the bedroom, closes the door. 7:00 p.m. Officer Hayes sits in his apartment, staring at his laptop. His father, retired LAPD, 30 years, is on FaceTime. "Dad, I witnessed something today." "How bad?" "Partner arrested a guy for being black in a park. No cause." His father's face hardens. "You report it?" "Wrote a separate report." "But should I go to IA?" A long silence. Then, "Son, I stayed silent once. 1992. Rodney King. I knew officers who did wrong. Said nothing. I still regret it. Don't be me." Hayes opens a new email. Subject line, Internal Affairs, Misconduct Report. His hands shake as he types. And at DOJ, 340 attorneys are being briefed. Day 2, FBI Civil Rights Division. The algorithm runs cold and precise. 5 years of data. Every traffic stop, every arrest, every use of force report filed by Officer Jake Donnelly. The numbers land like a verdict. 351 total police contacts, 41% involved black individuals. Riverside is 9% black. Use of force, 89% against minorities. Search rates. Black motorists, 7.2x higher than white for identical violations. 3 cases get flagged in red. Case number 1. Jamal Henderson, 16, black, nonverbal autism, reported for acting erratically in a parking lot. Body cam shows him stimming, hand flapping repetitive movements while waiting for his mother. Donnelly tased him. Complaint filed. Marked unfounded without investigation. Case number 2. Rosa Martinez, 34, Latina, pulled over for a broken tail light that wasn't broken. Searched for 40 minutes while her kids, 8 and 10, sobbed in the back seat. Body cam audio. Donnelly joking to his partner, "Probably smuggling more than insulin in that van, right?" Case number 3. Darius Grant, 52, black, arrested outside his own electronics store at 6 a.m., accused of trespassing. Store sign clearly visible. Owner, Darius Grant. Charges dropped. No apology. Grant lost 35% of his customers when rumors spread. 10:00 a.m. Internal Affairs Officer Brandon Hayes walks in without a lawyer. Captain Elizabeth Moore looks up, surprised. "You have representation, Officer Hayes?" "Don't need it. I'm here voluntarily." He slides a notebook across the table. 8 months of entries. 23 incidents. Dates, times, badge numbers. Every time Donnelly crossed the line and Hayes stayed silent. "I told my supervisor twice. Both times. Donnelly's a good cop. Don't rock the boat." Moore flips through the pages. Her jaw tightens. "Why didn't you come forward sooner?" Hayes meets her eyes. "I'm a rookie. He's union protected. Who would believe me?" 11:00 a.m. The conspiracy uncovered. FBI forensic analysts crack Donnelly's encrypted email. What they find stops the investigation cold. From Lieutenant Raymond Briggs, Watch Commander. To Officer Jake Donnelly. Subject, target adjustment. Date, 3 weeks before Isaac's arrest. Focus morning patrols on Riverside Park. Black male, 40s, runs there daily 6-7 a.m. Too comfortable in the area, probably casing the wealthy homes. Make contact. A second email sent from Briggs to an encrypted phone number. Package delivered. Local talent executing as discussed. The FBI traces the payments, $15,000 over 6 months. Source, a shell company linked to a white nationalist group called Heritage Protection League. Mission statement: preserve traditional neighborhood character. Translation: keep minorities out. 7 other Riverside officers received payments. Donnelly wasn't the mastermind. He was the weapon. 2:00 p.m. Donnelly's suspension chief Williams slides the letter across his desk. Paid administrative leave. Pending investigation. Donnelly's face goes white. For what? Body cam footage. Hayes' statement. FBI subpoena. Badge and gun. Now. Chief, this is political. This is you costing us a federal investigation. Go home. Donnelly stands, hands shaking. Slides his badge across the desk. Outside, 3 reporters wait with cameras. And tomorrow, the man Donnelly arrested holds a press conference. Day 3. Media explosion. The Facebook video hits 1.2 million views. Cable news picks it up. Hashtag trends. #justice for the park man. Nobody knows Isaac's name yet. That's strategic. CNN runs the 15-second clip on loop. Donnelly forcing a man to his knees. The little girl crying. The crowd filming. Commentators debate. Legal analysts dissect. Civil rights groups issue statements. And then Fox News drops a bombshell. Day 4, 10:00 a.m. Conservative backlash. Senator Richard Holbrooke, white, 63, Judiciary Committee, calls a press conference. We're learning the man arrested in Riverside may be a high-ranking federal official. If true, we must ask, did he entrap Officer Donnelly? Did a government bureaucrat deliberately provoke this incident for political gain? The accusation spreads fast. Talk radio, Twitter, Facebook groups, federal official baits cop for publicity. Was this a setup? Director stages arrest to push anti-police agenda. 11:00 a.m. DOJ forced response. The Attorney General calls Isaac. I have to put you on administrative leave. Isaac's voice stays level. For how long? 72 hours minimum. Political pressure is immense. So I lose my authority. Temporarily. Isaac, I'm sorry. Isaac hangs up, stares at his badge on the desk. For the first time in this entire ordeal, his hands form fists. Day 4, 2:00 p.m. The dashcam video. Donnelly's lawyer, Samuel Brooks, finds it buried in the case file. Personal dashcam footage, not department-issued, from Donnelly's car. The angle is clear. Isaac walking to the bench, glancing toward the patrol car. A barely perceptible smile before he sits. Brooks leans back, grinning. He was waiting for you. The video leaks within hours. Headlines shift. Exclusive. Video shows Director Davis positioned himself deliberately. Did federal officials set up local cop? Public opinion splits 50-50. Day 4, 6:00 p.m. Donnelly's home. Jennifer sits across from Jake at the kitchen table. The house is silent except for cable news murmuring in the background. They're saying you were set up. Donnelly nods, desperate. See? I told you. He planned this. Jennifer's face is unreadable. Jake, even if he sat there on purpose, he was just sitting. You still chose to arrest him. He was acting suspicious. He was black in a nice neighborhood. That's what you mean. Donnelly's mouth opens. Nothing comes out. Jennifer stands. I'm staying at my sister's. Day 4, 8:00 p.m. Isaac's response. Rachel finds Isaac in his study, staring at the dashcam footage on his laptop. They're saying you baited him. I sat on a bench I've sat on 200 times. The difference? This time I was ready for the bias I knew would come. Is that entrapment? Isaac's voice hardens. No, it's documentation. And if black people recording our own harassment is a setup, then we're admitting we can't exist freely without being accused of something. He closes the laptop. Tomorrow I hold a press conference, without my badge, without DOJ backing. Rachel touches his shoulder. Then let's make it count. Because in 18 hours, Donnelly learns who he really arrested. Day 5, 10:00 a.m., Federal Courthouse. Jake Donnelly sits on his couch in sweatpants, unshaven, third day of suspension. The TV plays in the background, cable news, muted. His phone buzzes. Union lawyer. Big press conference today. DOJ. Watch it. Donnelly unmutes the TV. Sees the federal courthouse steps. DOJ seal on the podium. 40 journalists crowded with cameras. He makes fresh coffee, half watching. Probably some ACLU lawyer, he mutters. The press secretary steps to the microphone. Good morning. The Department of Justice is announcing a federal civil rights investigation into the Riverside Police Department. To explain the circumstances, I'll turn it over to the director of the Civil Rights Division. Donnelly glances up and freezes. Isaac Davis walks to the podium. Sharp navy suit, DOJ credentials on a lanyard, American flag pin. The same man, the same face. The graphic appears on screen. Isaac J. Davis, Director, Civil Rights Division, U.S. Department of Justice. Donnelly's coffee cup slips from his hand, shatters on the floor. Brown liquid spreads across the carpet. No. 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 Isaac's voice fills the room, calm and devastating. 5 days ago, I was handcuffed, forced to my knees, and publicly humiliated in Riverside Park. My crime? Sitting on a bench while black. Camera flashes explode like fireworks. The officer who arrested me, badge 2836, Officer Jacob Donnelly, saw a black man in a, quote, nice neighborhood and assumed I was a criminal. He didn't see a federal director. He didn't see a father. He didn't see a fellow public servant. He saw skin color and he acted on bias. Donnelly's phone erupts. Texts, calls, voicemails. He ignores them all, staring at the screen. Isaac continues. I had credentials that could have ended this immediately. I chose not to use them, because thousands of black Americans face Officer Donnelly every day, and they don't have federal badges to protect them. Split screen, Isaac at the podium. The park video, Isaac on his knees. The Chiron updates. Same man. Arrest victim, federal civil rights director. This isn't about me. It's about Jamal Henderson, 16, tased for being autistic. Rosa Martinez, 34, humiliated in front of her children. Darius Grant, 52, arrested outside his own business. Their photos appear on screen. Donnelly recognizes none of them. Our investigation uncovered a pattern and practice of discriminatory policing. Statistics flash. 351 Donnelly interactions analyzed. 41% targeted black individuals, 9% of population. Use of force, 89% against minorities. 52 cases flagged for civil rights violations. Reporter Q&A Q. Were you suspended for setting up Officer Donnelly? Isaac's jaw tightens. Yes. And I'll address that directly. I sat on a bench I've sat on 200 mornings. The accusation? That I set up this encounter by existing in a public space while black. If documenting the bias I knew would come is entrapment, then every black American who records police is guilty. That's not a setup. That's survival. Kiro. What about the conspiracy involving Lieutenant Briggs? Our investigation uncovered payments from white nationalist organizations to multiple Riverside officers to, quote, maintain neighborhood demographics. This isn't one bad cop. It's organized discrimination. Capo, what do you say to Officer Donnelly? Isaac looks directly into the camera. Donnelly, watching, feels the words like a physical blow. You took an oath to protect all citizens. You broke it. You'll face consequences. But I hope genuinely hope, you use this moment to examine why you saw threat when I was simply existing. Donnelly's phone rings. Union Reputa. Jake, we can't defend this. You have to. You arrested the head of civil rights, the guy who prosecutes cops. We'd be insane. The line goes dead. 1:00 p.m. The informant revealed. The FBI holds a follow-up briefing. Agent speaks carefully. We received cooperation from inside the Donnelly household 2 weeks before Director Davis's arrest. The room goes silent. Mrs. Jennifer Donnelly contacted our field office, provided Officer Donnelly's personal journal containing racist entries dating back 3 years. The camera cuts to Jennifer's pre-recorded statement. I found Jake's journals last year, when he started making comments about our daughter Maya, about her skin color, her heritage. I knew I couldn't stay silent. I won't let my daughter grow up thinking her father's hatred is normal. She holds up a photo. Maya Donnelly, 16, biracial, Filipino, and white. I contacted the FBI because I knew Jake would hurt someone. I hoped intervention would come before he did. 3:00 p.m. Jennifer comes home for clothes. Donnelly sits in the same spot, TV still on, sound muted. You reported me? She doesn't look at him. I reported a racist who was poisoning our daughter. Jen, I filed for divorce this morning. Maya's staying with me. She drops her wedding ring on the counter. 14 years. Gone. The door closes behind her. Donnelly stares at the ring, at the TV, where Isaac's face is frozen mid-sentence, at his phone, silent now, because everyone has already chosen a side, and it isn't his. In 48 hours, his daughter testifies against him in open court. Day 6. Riverside in crisis. The city council meets in emergency session, televised, packed gallery, protesters outside with signs, Justice for Jamal, fire Donnelly, defund racist cops. The city attorney delivers the damage report. We're facing potential liability between $50 and $80 million, civil suits from 3 confirmed victims, possibly more. The insurance representative stands. We're reviewing whether misconduct is covered under your policy. Preliminary assessment, likely not. Mayor Patricia Garrett's face goes pale. 12,000 signatures on a recall petition. 3 days. Day 7. Donnelly's criminal exposure. Samuel Brooks sits across from Donnelly in a cramped conference room, spreads out documents like a coroner presenting autopsy photos. Federal charges. 18 U.S. Code Section 242, deprivation of rights under color of law. What's that mean? 1 to 10 years in federal prison. Donnelly's hands go numb. I was doing my job. Brooks cuts him off. Your body cam contradicts your written report in 14 places. That's not a mistake, Jake. That's perjury. And your partner's statement backs up the video, not you. Hayes is a traitor. Hayes is a witness. And juries love honest cops who testify against dirty ones. The 3 victims. File lawsuit number 1. Jamal Henderson. The complaint is 43 pages. Jamal's mother, Carol Henderson, sits for a deposition. Her voice breaks halfway through. My son hasn't spoken in 18 months. Before Officer Donnelly tased him, Jamal was learning sign language, making friends. He smiled. She holds up 2 photos. Before, Jamal at 15, grinning, holding a robotics trophy. After, Jamal at 17, eyes vacant, staring at nothing. Officer Donnelly saw my son's disability as defiance. He tased a child who couldn't understand commands, and Jamal will never be the same. Medical records, PTSD, regression in development, $240,000 in ongoing treatment. Damages sought, $8 million. Lawsuit number 2, Rosa Martinez. Rosa's children, now 9 and 11, sit in therapy twice a week. The psychologist's report is clinical and damning. Both minors exhibit hypervigilance, fear of authority figures, acute anxiety when observing police vehicles. Patient A experiences night terrors 3 to 4 times weekly. Patient B has developed selective mutism in situations involving perceived threat. The dashcam footage plays in the deposition room. Rosa's voice, pleading in accented English, her daughter sobbing, Donnelly's voice mocking, "Probably smuggling more than insulin." His partner, now retired, willing to testify on tape. "Jake, that's not cool." Donnelly, "Relax, I'm joking." Rosa's attorney pauses the video. "Mrs. Martinez, can you explain how this joke affected your family?" Rosa's hands shake. "My daughters asked me if we were bad people, if Mommy was a criminal. I told them no. They didn't believe me." Damages sought. 5 million plus punitives. Lawsuit number 3. Darius Grant. Darius owns Grant Electronics. Owned. Past tense now. His security footage shows everything. Him unlocking the front door at 6:02 a.m., Donnelly's patrol car pulling up at 6:04. The confrontation. The sign, 5 feet tall, Darius's photo, owner, clearly visible. Donnelly ignored it. After the video went viral, customers assumed I was a criminal. I lost 35% of my revenue. 2 corporate accounts canceled contracts. I had to take out loans to cover payroll. I laid off Marcus. Good kid, 22, was saving for college. Darius looks at the camera recording the deposition. Looks straight at where he knows Donnelly will eventually watch. "You didn't even remember my name in the IA hearing. I was just another black face to you." Damages sought. 12 million including business losses. Reporters ask why Isaac hasn't filed his own lawsuit. He's standing outside the DOJ building, reinstated after the 72-hour suspension, 3 microphones in his face. "My goal isn't money, it's reform. Jamal, Rosa, Darius, they deserve compensation. I have a federal salary and a platform. They had nothing until now." The soundbite goes viral. Isaac's approval rating jumps to 73% day 9. The smoking gun email. FBI forensic analysts recover deleted emails from the department server. From Lieutenant Raymond Briggs to Chief Richard Williams. Subject, Donnelly. Issue, date, April 2023. Chief, Jake Donnelly's stop statistics are problematic. 78% minority contacts in a 62% white city. We need remedial training before we have an incident that goes public. Chief Williams's response, noted. Will address in annual review. Never addressed, never followed up. Deliberate indifference, legal term. Huge liability. The city attorney reads the email and closes his laptop. We're going to settle all 3 cases. Consent decree with DOJ, full reform package. The mayor nods, numb. Day 8, 11 o'clock p.m. Brandon Hayes is putting his 6-year-old daughter to bed when he hears glass shatter downstairs. His wife screams. 2 men, ski masks. One holds up a photo, Hayes' daughter at school, playground in the background. Withdraw your testimony or we visit her next. Hayes' hands shake. Okay, I'll withdraw. They leave through the back door. Hayes calls 911, files a report. Then emails Internal Affairs. I'm withdrawing my statement. Family safety concerns. Captain Moore responds within minutes. Understood. We'll proceed without you. Day 9, 2 o'clock p.m. Isaac's visit. Hayes opens his front door. Isaac Davis stands there. No security, no entourage, just a man in a suit. Hayes goes pale. Director Davis, I'm sorry. I can't testify. They threatened my family. Isaac holds up a hand. I know. I read the police report. Then why are you here? To tell you the choice is yours. I won't pressure you. Hayes' wife appears behind him holding their daughter. They showed us her picture. Isaac's expression softens. I have 2 kids. I understand completely. Silence. Then Isaac adds, but I want you to know, FBI is assigning agents to guard your home starting tonight. Your daughter will have a protective escort to school. You and your family are under federal protection as material witnesses. Hayes blinks. Why would you do that? Because you did the right thing once. People who do right shouldn't be punished for it. Day 10. Hayes' decision. Hayes calls Captain Moore. I'm testifying, all of it. You're sure? Director Davis reminded me why I became a cop. To protect people, even if it's from other cops. Day 10. Donnelly's unraveling. Jake Donnelly drinks alone. 3rd night in a row. His daughter Maya came home from boarding school, asked him one question. Do you hate people who look like me? And left for her grandmother's house. Jennifer filed for divorce. Union dropped him. Friends stopped calling. He opens his laptop, searches his own name. 23 million results. Every single one a variation of racist cop, dirty cop, disgraced officer. His phone buzzes. Federal grand jury subpoena. Testimony required in 2 weeks. His pension, 23 years of service, hangs by a thread. If convicted of a felony related to his duties, he loses 60% of it. He stares at the subpoena until the words blur. And in 4 days, his daughter testifies against him publicly. Day 14. Internal Affairs Hearing. The hearing room on the 3rd floor of Riverside PD headquarters is packed. New department policy. Transparency. 40 observers. Media in the back row. Live stream on the city website. The panel. 3 captains, including Elizabeth Moore, a black woman with 28 years on the force, and a reputation for zero tolerance. HR Director. City Attorney. Donnelly sits at a folding table, cheap suit from Men's Warehouse, public defender beside him who looks fresh out of law school. Captain Moore opens. Officer Donnelly, this hearing will determine your continued employment. You have the right to remain silent, but we proceed regardless. Understood? Donnelly nods. Let the record show Officer Donnelly acknowledged. Moore presses play. 18 minutes of body cam footage, unedited. The room watches in silence. The audio is damning. What's a black guy like you doing in this neighborhood? People like you can't afford that. Should have stayed in your part of town. The transcript is read aloud. Every word sounds worse in Moore's flat, professional monotone. Then the comparison. Side-by-side screens. Left, the body cam video showing Isaac sitting calmly. Right, Donnelly's written report. Subject acting aggressively. Made furtive movements toward waistband. 14 contradictions highlighted in red. Donnelly's lawyer tries. Officer Donnelly made split-second decisions in a potentially dangerous... Moore cuts him off. Counselor, the video shows your client observing the subject for 11 minutes before approach. Where's the danger? Training deficiencies. Your client scored 92% on constitutional policing exams. He knew better. Jamal's mother appears via video link. She holds up the 2 photos again. Before and after. Officer Donnelly saw my son's disability as defiance. He tased a child who couldn't understand commands. Jamal will never recover, and Officer Donnelly never apologized, never even remembered his name. She looks into the camera. Do you even remember him, officer? Donnelly stares at the table. He doesn't. Darius Grant stands, walks to the front, faces Donnelly directly. I built my business over 15 years, employed 6 people, paid taxes, coached Little League. His voice stays level, but his hands shake. You arrested me in front of my own store. My children asked if Daddy was a bad man. I lost 35% of my revenue, took out loans, laid off Marcus. Good kid, was saving for college. Pause. Officer Donnelly, what's my name? Silence. You don't remember, do you? I was just another black face. Then the door opens. Isaac Davis enters. Federal credentials visible. The room goes silent. Moore stands. Director Davis, you didn't have to attend. I want to ask Officer Donnelly one question. May I? The panel exchanges glances. Moore nods. Isaac approaches the table, stands 3 feet from Donnelly. In your 8 years as an officer, how many white men have you handcuffed while they sat on park benches? Donnelly's lawyer. He's not required. Donnelly speaks, voice barely audible. None. How many black men? Silence. Isaac's voice doesn't rise. 17, including me. 17 black men arrested for suspicious behavior while sitting in parks outside stores in their own cars. Do you see a pattern? Donnelly's face crumples. I thought I was doing my job. Your job was protecting all citizens. You failed, for years, while supervisors looked away. Isaac turns to the panel. Officer Donnelly isn't the only failure here. This department failed. Moore glances at her notes. We have one final speaker. Maya Donnelly requested to address this panel. Donnelly's head snaps up. No, she doesn't need to. The door opens. Maya walks in. 16 years old, biracial, nervous but determined. Moore speaks gently. Ms. Donnelly, you're not required. I want to. She pulls out a notebook, opens to a page marked with a yellow sticky note. This is my diary, from when I was 12. Her voice shakes but doesn't break. October 15th, 4 years ago. Dad came home angry today. Said he arrested a black man for looking wrong. I asked if the man did something bad. Dad said, he existed in the wrong place. I asked if that means I exist wrong too, because I'm half Filipino and my skin is darker than his. Dad got really quiet. Then he went to his room. She looks up. I have 30 entries like this. 30 times you came home and said something that made me wonder if you loved all of me, or just the white half. Tears stream down her face. I'm testifying because I don't want other kids wondering if their parent sees them as a threat. She looks at her father. He's sobbing, head in his hands. I love you, Dad. But what you did to Mr. Davis, to Jamal, to Mr. Grant, you did to me too. Because when you see black skin as suspicious, you see my skin as suspicious. She sits, refuses to look at him again. The panel deliberates 18 minutes, returns. Captain Moore reads the verdict. Officer Jacob Donnelly, you are found in violation of General Orders 4, 8, 11, and 18. Termination for cause, effective immediately, badge 22836 permanently revoked. Barred from law enforcement in this state. Donnelly doesn't react, just sits, empty. Day 16. Federal plea. U.S. Attorney announces, Donnelly pleads guilty to deprivation of rights under color of law. Sentence, 18 months federal prison, 3 years supervised release, 100 hours mandatory civil rights training post-release. Lifetime ban from law enforcement or security work. Isaac was consulted on the plea. He approved it. Long enough to reflect, short enough to rebuild, if he chooses to. But one man's fall is just the beginning of systemic change. 6 months later. Riverside PD has a new chief, Victoria Bennett, 48, black woman, 22-year veteran who reformed Camden, New Jersey's department, into a national model. Her first speech to the force, we earn trust back, or we keep trying until we do. The 6-month report card stops of black citizens, down 64%, now matching population demographics. Use of force incidents, down 58%. Citizen complaints, down 52%. Community trust survey, 28% approval to 61%. Policy wins. The early intervention system actually works now. Algorithm flags officers exceeding bias thresholds. 3 complaints in 6 months triggers mandatory counseling. Disparate stop patterns trigger retraining. Use of force on minorities more than twice the rate triggers desk duty pending review. 6 officers flagged in 6 months, all corrected before escalation. 0 firings yet. The system is preventative, not punitive. The Civilian Review Board has real power. 9 elected community members. Subpoena authority. 4 cases in 6 months. 2 terminations for officers with Donnelly-level patterns, 1 demotion, 1 exoneration of an officer falsely accused. Hearings live-streamed. Full transparency. Brandon Hayes, promoted to sergeant, leads the Training Academy's ethics program now. Documentary crew filming, The Davis Effect. Hayes on camera. I was complicit through silence. Never again. Every officer here knows now. You report misconduct or you're part of it. Month 4 of the consent decree, the news breaks. Former desk sergeant Stephen Kowalski found dead in his home. Apparent suicide. The note is 13 pages, handwritten. The FBI releases it publicly per his instructions. To the families of Jamal Henderson, Rosa Martinez, Darius Grant, and the others whose names I never learned, I knew. For 23 years I knew. I buried complaints. I covered for officers like Donnelly because it was easier than fighting the system. I told myself I had a family to feed, a pension to protect. But so did you. And I failed you. Jamal, I read your mother's testimony. You were tased for a disability. I saw the complaint. I marked it unfounded without investigation. Rosa, your children cried in that car for 40 minutes. I watched the dash cam. I wrote, within policy. Darius, you showed me your business license. I still processed the arrest. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve peace. But I can give you names. Attached. A list. 47 officers across 12 states Kowalski trained in efficient policing, code for racial profiling. How to write reports that justify unjustifiable stops. How to bury complaints. The network goes national. FBI opens 12 additional investigations. The scandal trends for a week. Hashtag the Kowalski files. His funeral is small. Isaac sends flowers. Card reads, "You found courage at the end. I hope others find it sooner." Maryland State Legislature passes the Isaac Davis Civil Rights Act. Requires all departments with more than 50 officers to adopt civilian oversight. Quarterly bias training. Evidence-based. State funding contingent on compliance. 23 departments now under consent decrees or voluntary reform. Nationally, DOJ cites Riverside as a model in 8 other investigations. Police unions resist. But public opinion shifted. 71% support civilian oversight boards, 63% support federal intervention for problem departments. 5 major cities voluntarily adopt Riverside-style reforms to avoid scrutiny. Jamal Henderson's family, $4.8 million settlement. Moved to a better school district. Specialized autism program. Jamal is thriving now, learning sign language again, smiling again. His mother testifies before the state legislature on police reform. Rosa Martinez, $4.2 million settlement. Kids improving in therapy. Rosa enrolled in community college, studying criminal justice. I want to be an advocate. I know what powerlessness feels like. Darius Grant, $7.1 million settlement. Business recovered. Opened a second location. Hired 2 formerly incarcerated individuals. I know what false accusations feel like. He serves on the Civilian Review Board now. Isaac Davis, promoted to Associate Attorney General, 3rd highest position in DOJ. Oversees 58 active civil rights investigations nationwide. Police Executive Research Forum. Keynote. The badge is a privilege earned daily through service, not a shield against accountability. Riverside City Council commissions a statue in the park. Not of Isaac. Of the little girl who cried watching him kneel. Plaque reads, "May we see each other's humanity before we see each other's differences." Unveiled on the 1-year anniversary. Isaac attends, hugs the girl, now 8 years old, who inspired it. But Isaac's story isn't finished, and neither is Donnelly's. 1 year later, 6:52 a.m. Isaac returns to Riverside Park. Same bench, same Yankees cap, coffee in hand, watching the sunrise paint the pond gold. A patrol car rolls up. Isaac tenses. The trauma lingers, a shadow that hasn't fully lifted. A young Hispanic officer steps out. 24, maybe, probationary badge still shiny. "Morning, sir." Isaac nods carefully. "Morning, officer." "Beautiful day for a run." "It is." Isaac relaxes slightly. "You new on this beat?" "First week solo." She smiles, nervous. "Honestly? I'm terrified I'll mess up." Isaac studies her, sees the genuine concern. "Best advice I ever got, remember every person you meet is someone's child, parent, friend. Treat them how you'd want your family treated." Oh. Her eyes widen. Recognition dawns. "You're Director Davis?" "I am." "Your case is why I joined the force, to do it right." Isaac feels something loosen in his chest. "Then my job is making sure this department supports you in doing it right." They shake hands. A moment of healing. She drives away. Isaac sits back down, sips his coffee. For the first time in a year, he doesn't feel watched. Just present. Month 11 of 18. Jake Donnelly works in the prison library. Stocks shelves, processes checkouts, teaches GED classes 3 evenings a week. 70% of his students are Black and Latino. The irony isn't lost on him. Mandated therapy twice weekly. Real therapy, not performance. His therapist's notes, reviewed by the court, genuine remorse, engaged in racial identity work, significant progress. A letter arrives. Federal envelope. Donnelly's hands shake, opening it. "Mr. Donnelly, I don't write as your victim or your judge. I write as someone who believes people can change, if they choose to. You took my dignity that day in the park, my sense of safety in a public space. But you took more from yourself, your integrity, your career, your family. I've reviewed your progress reports. You're teaching men who look like me. That's a start. When you're released, there's a program I helped fund. Police Accountability and Retraining Initiative. Former officers who've been disciplined teach bias awareness to current cops. If you're serious about atonement, they'll take you. The choice is yours. But know this, I'm not rooting for your failure. I'm hoping for your redemption. Our communities need former officers like you speaking truth about what went wrong. You have 8 months to decide who you'll be when you walk out." Respectfully, Isaac J. Davis Donnelly reads it 3 times, then pins it above his bunk. He writes back that night, "Director Davis, I don't deserve your grace, but I'll spend the rest of my life trying to earn it. Thank you. Jake Donnelly, dinner with Rachel and the kids, home from college. Alicia, 22, pre-med. Jordan, 20, engineering." Alicia scrolls her phone. "Dad, you're trending on TikTok again. It's kind of cringe." Isaac laughs. "I'm not a legend. I'm a man who refused to stay silent." Jordan sets down his fork. "Did you ever think about letting it go? Avoiding the fight?" Isaac's expression shifts. Serious now. "Every single day. But then I thought about Jamal, Rosa, Darius, every black kid who'll face a cop like Donnelly tomorrow." Rachel squeezes his hand. "That's why I married you." Brandon Hayes training a diverse class of recruits, teaching them what courage looks like. Jamal Henderson smiling at high school graduation, signing thank you to his mother. Darius Grant cutting the ribbon at his second store, employees cheering. The Civilian Review Board in session, community members asking hard questions, demanding answers. The little girl from the park, now 8, playing soccer. She sees an officer walking by, waves. The officer waves back. Isaac jogging past the memorial statue. He pauses, touches the plaque. May we see each other's humanity before we see each other's differences. Justice isn't blind. It requires us to see, truly see each other, beyond uniforms, beyond skin color, beyond assumptions. That day in the park, I could have died for existing while black. Instead, I lived to ensure others won't face the same fate. That's not heroism. That's obligation. If you have power, a badge, a platform, a voice, you have the same obligation. Use it before someone else pays the price for your silence. If you had Isaac's power for one day, what injustice would you fix first? Comment below. Most liked answer gets featured in our next Community Spotlight video.